Yes, I'm back, dazed, confused, and very, very jet-lagged because I've just flown in from Cupertino, but I did promise you I'm going to bring these to you, a hands-on review, and here they are. The iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, both with us. We'll do an actual detailed look at each phone. We'll compare it to the previous version, and we'll finally come up with all the changes that have come in. And at the end of it all, we're going to tell you, is this the phone to buy if you are on iOS? And we'll round it all off with this, the Lenovo K10. Let's start off today with our Cell Guru show.
We have the new iPhone 11 with us, and this may well be the star amongst everything that Apple launched. How good is it? What is new? And should you upgrade? All answered on our show today. We review the iPhone that comes with a 3-camera lens setup, a bigger battery and a better display. And we tell you if this iPhone is worth the money it asks for. Lenovo makes a comeback with the K10 Note, a phone with a telephoto lens under 15,000 rupees. Should you buy it? Find out. And Huawei launches the Mate 30 series in an event in Germany with the Kirin 990 chipset.
So all the news is here in front of me, but a lot more news is also coming in from the rest of the brands. It's an epically active market right now. Let's take a look at all the headlines.
Huawei launched its Mate 30 series in an event in Germany. The new Huawei phones come in both 4G and 5G variants. The Mate 30 and the 30 Pro feature a circular rear camera setup that is based on the company's Halo ring design, along with Leica optics. Both phones run on Huawei's latest Kirin 990 chipset and will support 5G. There is a triple camera setup on the Mate 30 and a quad rear camera setup on the Mate 30 Pro. These phones will run with EMUI 10 on top of Android 10, but will not have Google's core apps on board, including the Play Store.
In our move to expand the use of smart assistant Alexa amongst Indians, Amazon has equipped Alexa with Hindi vocabulary. Yes, Alexa can now speak and interact in Hindi and English.
I think the key piece for us was how do we get Alexa to speak in Hindi by understanding the diversity of all the accents, the diversity of all the regional connotations to it, the dialects. And that has been a challenge, and that takes a lot of time to perfect it. We didn't want Alexa to just understand certain words in Hindi and not others. So that's kind of where we have taken a lot of time to learn from even the English models and how people were interacting to then guide the development of the Hindi.
Amazon is continuously working on expanding the Hindi vocabulary of Alexa, and now it is available of all Echo family of voice-controlled smart speakers. To get started with Hindi, customers can just ask, Alexa, help me set up Hindi. Existing Echo customers in India can change their device language to Hindi on the Alexa app. Google at its annual Google for India event made quite a few announcements and introduced new features. Google announced an AI research lab in Bengaluru, which is focused on advancing India's knowledge in AI.
I think we'll work on foundational research to actually develop AI further. And second, we'll look at solving core problems for that are Indian specific and how we apply AI to solve those problems.
Google also launched Vodafone Idea phone line, powered by Google Assistant, to make information accessible to 2G users, which is a great move according to us. The internet giant focused on its Google Pay app, within which it launched tokenized cards for debit card and credit card users across India, which enables the users to use their card digitally. Alongside, Google also unveiled a brand new Google Pay for Business app for merchants and introduced Spot platform on Google Pay for merchants to create branded commercial experiences that bridge the offline and online worlds. Another addition to Google Pay is Jobs.
Well, today, there's 67 million people who are using Google Pay regularly, every month. So many of our users are entry-level job seekers, many are people who want to hire people, they're shopkeepers, they're small businesses. And so we want to make it easy for them to both find jobs as well as create jobs. And the Spot platform enables us to create a lot of very interesting use cases, like you could be at a training center or outside a shop and just scan a spot or tap on a spot and instantly see the jobs that are available for you, tailored for you.
Google also expanded Indian language support across Google Assistant, Discover, Lens, and Bolo.
And now it's time to get started with our big story, and this is Apple's annual event where it used to be one phone, then became two phones. Now it's actually become three phones every single year. Now they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but what do three apples do together? Well, the answer to that is when we will actually review them. So I promised you hands-on reviews. We're going to start off with this one. This is the iPhone 11. Now, a lot of people say this is the junior phone. But believe me, I called the iPhone XR the hidden gem of last year. I'm again saying it, the iPhone 11 is actually an incredible device. And if they actually bring down the price in India to what I think it will be, remember the iPhone XR with the right offers and choices and credit card offers and everything else, if you time yourself right, you can pick it up for 51,000, 52,000 rupees. And this one got priced $50 lower. So of course in the beginning you won't get those offers, but eventually this one also should be available at an incredible price. And for that price, this is a really good phone from Apple. Let's take a look at this in detail.
It's time to step down the price ladder with Apple and roll out the color palette. This is for Apple's most affordable iPhone yet, the iPhone 11. And it might just be the iPhone to buy of all the three launched this year. In India, the iPhone 11 starts at 64,900 rupees. So let's dive into the review to find out if this phone beats the socks off the pros. We got the purple variant of the iPhone 11 for review. It's a new color that Apple has added, and we didn't mind the light mauve feel that it has. The aluminium sides are now more in tandem with the color of the phone, so they don't really stand out. The design is very similar to its predecessor, the iPhone XR, but the main difference comes in on the back with the addition of one more camera. It does stick out a bit though, and it's perched on a little transparent square. The phone is IP68 rated, which means it is water resistant up to 2 meters for 30 minutes and dust resistant as well. Apple claims this phone can take accidental spills from everyday liquids like coffee, but we couldn't quite muster up the courage to try this one out. The glass is toughened, but we'd say you still need to slap on a cover. One of the big improvements in this iPhone is in its performance. Like the pros, this runs on the Apple A13 BIONIC chipset. Apple claims this is the fastest CPU and GPU in a smartphone. Launching apps is super quick. Face ID is now much faster too, and machine learning helps in many other aspects of this phone. Another big improvement is in the optics. There's one more lens on the back. Apple still believes the magic does not lie in very high megapixels, so it sticks to dual 12 megapixel lenses. The second lens is an ultra-wide camera which captures up to 4 times more scene. The toggle between the two lenses is simple, and it's from the camera app itself. We tried this with different sized balls, and the bigger one fit in only when we changed it to the ultra-wide lens. There's a new night mode in the iPhone 11 as well. This lights up the frame when there's absolutely no light. We were amazed at the results. The portrait mode has got some new effects like this high key light mono effect. The camera button doubles up as a video recorder when it is long pressed. This is what Apple calls quick take, and the transition is smooth and pretty quick. The camera capabilities have gone up one notch when it comes to video as well. You can shoot a 4K video at 60 frames per second, and the editing of the video can be done in the camera app itself. The editing features are not extensive, but the color tone, frame correction, and there's a lot more that can be done. The front camera has been bumped up to a 12 megapixel lens. There's a lot of improvement here as well. There aren't two lenses, but you can zoom out to give a wide view and fit in more people into your selfie. The selfies have a marked improvement in resolution, and the color tones are very natural and true to life, like Apple usually keeps it. Yes, there is a slow motion video that is now possible with the front camera at 120 frames per second. We had some fun testing this one out. There's no news on what the battery size is exactly, but it does last 1 hour longer than the XR like Apple claims. This is pretty impressive since the XR battery was great to begin with. The iPhone 11 now supports Dolby audio. Watching videos on this phone is quite a delight. The screen is still an LCD screen, but it does well with Apple's True Tone display. This is a 6.1-inch liquid retina display. There's no 3D touch anymore, and it's not something we miss because there is haptic touch, which is smoother to use. Like the pros, the iPhone 11 runs on iOS 13, and it comes with all the bells and whistles of the new OS. The Cell Guru verdict? How do you take an already great phone and improve it? Well, Apple sure seems to have the answer to that with the iPhone 11. Its performance is par excellence and the additional camera has made the iPhone camera more versatile. It's not worth the upgrade from the iPhone XR, but compared to the Pro variants launched this year, the iPhone 11 is the phone to look at because it's almost the same phone except for the battery, display and an additional lens. We're bowled over by the iPhone 11's charm, and you will too if you plan on buying this.
And now we're moving on to this, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now this, of course, if you're in the Pro version, this is the phone to buy. There is no two ways about it. A lot of people will say, why not the iPhone 11 Pro? Because this gives you so much more, much better battery life, a much bigger screen. And if you really want to use all the features, you need this screen size for sure. So what is it that they've changed in this? Of course, there's the A13 BIONIC chip. There is a much better screen, but do remember, it's just got a very nice name. It's just got a higher brightness. So they call it the Super Retina XDR. As always, Apple's hyped name. Then 3 cameras at the back, and that's pretty much all the big changes that this phone has. Our hands-on review of this, the Pro Max.
The iPhones go Pro. The Pros have 3 cameras, better display, faster processors, bigger battery life, and oh wait, they come in a midnight green color. Well, didn't you think that was worth a mention? We did anyway. So are we pro the new iPhone 11 Pro Max that we have for our review or not? It's time to find out. When we got our hands on the box of the new midnight green iPhone 11 Pro Max, we couldn't wait to peel the plastic off of the brand new iPhone. And once we turned on the screen, we loved the bright and beautiful large display. However, the same notch and feel of the iPhone 10 and 10s series did slightly take away our excitement. But then we turned the phone around, and the differences from the previous generations were obvious. The camera is square with 3 lenses, no iPhone written on the back panel, and the iPhone logo moved to the center. Okay, we have to say that this new iPhone Pro model looks better in person than what the cameras managed to capture. The finish is subtle and muted. Yes, the camera square is not as pretty as the Trafalgar Square, but the lenses don't bulge out as much as we thought they would while looking at the pictures initially. Also, do notice that the camera square is glossy, unlike the rest of the phone, which is matte, which makes it stand out even more. The iPhone 11 Pro Max isn't a thin phone, it's big, and we did feel the extra battery weight when we held the device. But those who are used to iPhone XS Max, the extra weight will not bother you much. The phone is water and dust resistant, so don't worry if you accidentally drop water on it or you drop it into water. We were really excited to try the 3-camera system, which is probably the reason you'd end up spending on the 11 Pro over the 11, so let's jump onto that next. There is a 12MP main wide-angle lens which is joined by a 12MP ultra-wide-angle camera with a 120-degree field of view, and now we have a 12MP telephoto lens as well. The redesigned camera interface makes it easy to switch between lenses. The shots in daylight and indoors came out very well. Even the zoomed-in shots with the telephoto lens have a good amount of detail. We love the fact that we didn't have to switch to night mode option. The phone detected that we're in a dark area, so it automatically went to it, and may we say we were very impressed with the quality of the shots. There is a significant improvement in the low-light shots clicked by the Pro phone. Apple claims to have the best video recording ever seen on a smartphone in the new Pros, so we recorded a video jumping and talking and moving, and as you can see, there weren't any appreciable shakes.
Hi everyone, this is not my home, but we are reviewing the new iPhone 11 Pro Max.
The videos have got some fantastic editing tools, so edit for social media on the go.
The fact that you can have 3 perspectives of the same shot through the camera, wide, close and super wide, while you're shooting with the subject. I mean, you don't need to have multiple cameras, it's one camera. Think how far that can go, at least in the world of documentary. You know, and you don't have to ask the same question to get another angle, and when you're editing it, it's, I mean, you know, you do it with interviews, you do it with all the time. So with this one, I am excited to dive into it and experiment.
The front camera is a 12MP true depth camera, and like the rear camera, it can capture 4K video at up to 60 frames per second. We also tried slow-fees and yeah, sure, it was fun. We tried the quick take feature that lets you shoot video while capturing photos just by long pressing on the shutter button. This can help you capture moments without having to switch modes like we've seen in Instagram. Watching videos, browsing, being on social media on this phone is an awesome experience. Sure, the big notch may take a while if you're a new user, but we're used to it, and the brightness of the new Super Retina XDR display is pure love. We loved all of the 6.5 inches of the display, and because the phone is freakishly fast, it made us lose not a second of our day. The iPhone 11 Pro Max comes with the same processor as the iPhone 11, the A13 BIONIC chipset. The other big plus of this biggie is its bigger battery. This iPhone will last 1 hour more than the previous gen iPhone XS Max. The Pro Max runs iOS 13, which means it's dark mode, a more private way to sign into apps and websites with Sign In with Apple, and an all-new Maps experience. The iPhone 11 Pro Max is priced starting at 1,09,900 and it goes up to 1,41,900 for the 512GB variant. The Cell Guru verdict? An iPhone is an iPhone. So is this big iPhone worth the stupendous amount of money that can otherwise buy a bike for you instead? Well, let's put it this way. If you own an iPhone XS Max, don't bother buying this phone just for one more lens, 1 hour of extra battery life and extra pixels and power. But if you own anything below iPhone 8, the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max are a significant upgrade. But sure, you need a lot of money and heart to spend on the current best iPhone available, which is the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Let's take a quick break right now. Remember, we've done so much on the show, so much more still to go. That'll happen when we come back. And now, of course, we're moving on to the next story, the Lenovo K10 Note. Now, remember, Lenovo also now makes a comeback. First, it was Motorola that kind of went into a little bit of a sleep pattern. And then Lenovo almost completely disappeared. Motorola made a comeback, Lenovo's made a comeback, and this is more or less their comeback phone. The K10 Note, let's say, what did they do in the time that they weren't with us?
Take note, a new Lenovo phone is here. Just when we thought Lenovo is not making phones, we get one, and it's called the K10 Note. Its big USP is that it comes with a telephoto lens under 15,000 rupees. The K10 Note starts at 13,999 rupees for the 4GB variant, and that's the one we've got for review. It's been a few weeks since we've been testing the K10 Note, and here is why we think it's a solid one by Lenovo. The design language is simple. Even though the phone has a plastic build, it feels solid in the hand and it's comfortable to hold. There is a 3.5mm headphone jack on board. The fingerprint sensor is placed on the rear and it works fast. The K10 Note also has Face ID on board, but it's not particularly reliable. The K10 Note features a 6.3-inch Full HD Plus LCD display, which is bright and produces good colors. The viewing angles are good too. There is a dew-drop notch, which by now we're used to seeing on the screen, and don't judge the phone on it. The bezels are thin enough to give a decent video viewing experience. There's no Gorilla Glass, but the K10 Note uses Panda Glass, so we didn't really throw the phone on the ground to test how durable it is. Lenovo K10 Note ships with Android 9 with Lenovo Custom UI, and it is upgradable to Android 10. There is less bloatware, and we like that it's very close to custom Android UI, though we wish the phone had stock Android. The Lenovo K10 Note is powered by Snapdragon 710 with 4GB of RAM and 64GB storage. There is a 6GB model as well. With our time with the phone, we faced no issues at all. The phone worked beautifully, there were no lags whatsoever. Now coming to what stands out in the K10 Note, a triple camera lens setup, one of which is a telephoto lens. The triple camera consists of a 16-megapixel main lens, a 5-megapixel depth sensor, and an 8-megapixel telephoto camera with 2x optical zoom. The photos were fantastic during the daylight. The portrait mode on the Lenovo K10 Note is called Dual, so if you end up picking up this phone, don't be confused. The optical zoom with the telephoto lens is smooth and the images clicked with zoom in have details. We were very impressed with the results and the details that we got. There is 4050 mAh of battery on board and it lasted us a complete day. The 4GB RAM and 64GB storage variant is priced at 13,999 rupees and the 6GB RAM and 128GB storage is priced at 15,999 rupees. The Cell Guru verdict? Lenovo knows its hardware well and they've done a pretty good job with the optics on this phone. Yes, we do wish it was designed slightly better and that the UI was stock Android, but that said, it's a great option under 15,000 rupees and trust us, you won't regret picking it.
Well, that then is the Cell Guru show for this week, but do remember, we're just warming up. So much more coming up, including what we have for you in next week's show. See you then.